Hi everyone, this Spark video is all about how to create a questionnaire within Visual Dialog. So let's open up Visual Dialog. Now today we'll just go through a really basic questionnaire. The program does have functionality to create some really fancy stuff when it comes to inserting images and skipping or hiding sections of questions, but today we'll just do a really basic basic questionnaire. So let's go and click on the folder that you'd like to create the questionnaire within. Go to the Create tab and click on Questionnaire. Give your questionnaire a name and a description if you like. And this box here, enabling customer web access, check this if you'd like this survey or questionnaire to be viewed by a customer via the internet. And click on Next. Survey type, just keep it on mixed mode. This is the most flexible mode that allows for both identified and anonymous responses. And under Target Customer Domain, you might have a selection to choose from personal, customers, members, accounts. You would like to choose either personal or customer. So personal or members. Click Finish. Now you can see two views when you're creating your basic questionnaire. You've got questions and layouts. Question is where you can create the sections and questions for your questionnaire, and layout is where you're able to have a play with the flow, some of the captions and the look and feel of your questionnaire. So to start with, we'll just head back into the questions view. Okay, let's start by creating your first section. Now a section is just a bundling of questions. So for this first section, let's call it the introduction. And for this example, let's pretend we are creating a call script for a call center. So you'd want to put down some instructions for the caller here. If it was, though, for a customer to view, then you'd put down some instructions of how you want the customer to answer the questionnaire. So you will be able to just highlight and copy paste directly into this window. However, if you want a space, you'll have to use the BR tag. We'll give it 2 spaces. Okay, so now we've got our first section and some basic instructions, which in this particular example is a very basic call script for a telemarketer. So now let's go through a number of examples of the different types of questions that you can use. We'll head up to the questions button up here, click on questions, and here you'll see all the different types of questions that you can use. We'll slowly go through some of the most popular ones. So let's start with normal type, multi-option. So I just want a yes or no question. Let's ask them if they have a minute to talk. There's no spell check, so if you'd like or you prefer, you can create this questionnaire, say for example in a Word document, and then copy paste that into here. Do you have a minute to answer a few quick questions? Now let's just run through this properties box. Here you can check the box for answer required. That makes this question mandatory or not. Multi-choice or single choice. So for this particular question, we're asking them a yes or no response, so we're going to check single choice. Now you'll notice that when I toggle between multi-choice and single choice, the control type down here changes as well. So for single choice, you only have the options of radio box, drop down list, or list box. For multi-choice, you'll have things like check boxes and a list box. So once you check on single choice, over here you can add the options. So we'll have yes, add another one, no. Simple as that. Okay. So we've got our first question. We've got our introduction, our first section, and our first question. Okay, let's start a new section. So that was just the introduction. Now we're going to go into the heart of the questionnaire. So let's call this customer questionnaire. And we'll add a question. This time let's do a normal, simple question. So This is a very open-ended question. You can, here we go, select the type of data that you want them to input, whether it's just words, a date, time, or numbers. You click on the Advanced tab. Now say you've asked them a question that may need more than one line of response. You've got the option down here to increase the number of lines. We'll just give them 3 lines here. Click OK. Okay, let's go for another question. We'll make this one a multi-option one, but we won't do a radio box. Which of the following do you own? So we'll let them choose from a number of things. Oopsies. Car, house, oops, phone. Okay, now in this section here you can indicate the number of minimum or maximum responses. So we'll just leave them blank because we're going to let them choose however many they like. Click OK. Now let's do a ranking question. Question, normal, ranking. So this is just ranking something from, say, 1 to 5 or 1 to 3. Least to most favorite. Add some options down here. Okay, in this particular example we would like them to allocate a number 1, 2, 3 to each one of these options, triangle, square and circle. So we would say here minimum 3, then we'll put maximum 3. Okay. Okay, the last question, or the example of a question I'll run through with you guys today is the matrix. So in this box we'll select matrix, and here you can select the number of rows or columns, but don't worry if you change your mind because you can add them once you're in the next section. And also here with multi-choice or single choice, it doesn't matter which one you select because you can also change it once you're in there. So let's just go for, we'll start with 3 and 3. Okay. So here's a basic question. How much do you agree or disagree with the following statements? Now let's do, these rows will be the statements and the columns will be how much they agree or disagree. So let's go from strongly disagree to strongly agree. So we're going to need another 2 columns. So we'll add in a new column and add in another column. And here you can just directly click on the columns to change the name of them, and you can click on the rows to change the name of them. So let's do the questions first. Okay, so we put in our statements and our rating from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Now I just want to show you that you can also change the options that people have to select. So for this particular question you want a person to select 1 option per row, so you'd most likely select radio buttons. If you select the whole row it'll change all of them in the row, but if you can also select just the one, and you can change the different types of data that you can request to be entered in there. So let's just change them all to radio buttons. I'll just quickly show you as well, if you change your mind on how you want the matrix set up, you can switch the axes here. Okay. Okay, that will do for the sample questions. So we've got two sections, introduction and customer questionnaire, and several questions within both of these. Now the next thing, I'll just click save. The next thing you want to do is go into the layout section. Now let's create or give this questionnaire a layout. This is where you're able to edit the visual presentation and also flow of the questionnaire you've just created. So let's go to layouts and new layout. Now under style you will have several styles to choose from, and what Spark would have already done for you is to create your own your company's branding style. So from that drop down box you will select that one. For this particular example I'm just going to have no style, nice and generic. Here you can also create a welcome page and a thank you page. These are really, I'll show you them, but they're only really used if you're having the questionnaire for the customer to complete over the internet. I also like to automatically save after each page and click OK. Okay, so now you can see the prologue page and the epilogue page, the welcome and thank you. I'm just going to delete them because we don't need them for this example. I just wanted to show you them. So right click, delete, right click, delete. Okay, so now you can see your questionnaire that we created. Once you select your style guide, it'll have your branding colors on there as well. So I won't run through it today, but this layout view is where you'd be able to have a look at each individual question and change the flow. So if you want this question or this question to be skipped depending on what the answer to this question was, then you would have a play around with this section here in the layout flow. You can also insert images into the questions by clicking this button here. Something that I will actually show you though is if you have your whole questionnaire on the one page, you may want to change the wording of this button here forward to submit. An easy way of doing that is go up to the captions button. Forward button caption will change that to submit. There we go. So now you've completed the questions, the sections questions, and the layout for your questionnaire. Let's click save and test it. So click up here and click test. You'll see the name of the layout that you created is up here. And this is what the people in the call center will be viewing when they retrieve the customer to call. So they'll see the introduction here. You can run through and test it if you like. That's done. I'll show you what happens if you've made one of the questions mandatory. So the way that you'd edit your questions now is going back into the questions mode. So let's make this question mandatory. Now you just hover over the actual question till the link pops up, then click on it, and we'll check the answer required box and click OK. Click save, go back into layout. That will have automatically updated this, and now you can see a little red asterisk next to that question. We'll test it again and we'll skip that question. See what it does now. So here it'll say that this question is mandatory, so it won't let the caller go on until they've answered it. Survey complete. So that's it. You've now completed your first basic questionnaire in Visual Dialogue.